there, spooky friends, and welcome to another episode of Storytime with the Scariest Podcast.
Woo!
I'm Robin Grace, this is Adam Diaz,
Hello.
And today we're here with a few more homegrown horrors to share with you folks. If you folks aren't familiar with homegrown horrors, we're going to have Adam here explain to you what they are.
Homegrown horrors, the wonderful stories that have been sent to us by you, the listener, or the viewer, depending on if you watch us live. If you have never caught a Storytime or a Pasta Time live, we do those at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time at youtube.com/scarish and twitch.tv/scarish podcast. If you have a story you would like to submit, then you'd like to share with us, that's a homegrown horror, that's paranormal, coincidental, supernatural, spiritual, extraterrestrial, or true crime in nature, Robin, where can folks submit those?
You can submit them directly to us at storytime@scarish.com, or you can go to our website, which is scarish.com. You go to a contact us page through that website, fill out the form, and it gets emailed to us that way.
Indeed. We would love to hear from you, so feel free to reach out. We're going to be reading 4 homegrown horrors for this particular episode.
Count that. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
She counted it. She told you to do it, and then she did it for you. So, do you want to go first, Robin, or should I?
Let me go first.
All right. Go nuts for donuts.
All right, so the first...
Who doesn't like donuts? Am I right?
Well, but then it depends on the donut. Dunkin' Donuts, Krispy Kreme, like small hole in the wall donut shop.
We haven't
Pink box.
technically started the show yet, and you are really, really opening up a can of worms here. Because, like, I hate Krispy Kreme donuts, and I know that is a controversial opinion, and I love Dunkin' Donuts, which seems like it's another controversial opinion. So they're
just soft and squishy and delicious.
I just think they're too soft, they're too squishy, and
they're also made with like molasses and stuff.
They're sticky too, which I'm not the biggest fan of. You know, I like
you're not a fan of sticky?
No, I'm not. Not in donut context. I don't like that.
You could compare it to a donut.
With chocolate glaze. That's what I like. I don't like a super soft, squishy, sponge-like donut that looks like it's been covered in jizz. But that's just me. I think we should probably move on. However, we'd love to hear your opinions on donuts. You don't have to say what you hate. You can just say what you like. That said, Robin, take it away.
All right. So this... I'm so distracted. Okay. So the first email of this episode is titled Preschool Ghost. It goes, "Hi, Robin and Adam. Hello.
Hello.
That's us. And this is from Kelly, which is Marsha's friend. I don't know if you remember hanging out with Kelly.
I do indeed.
Yeah.
I didn't realize she sent 2.
Yeah, and it says, you can totally read this if you guys find it interesting enough, and we're going to read it. So here it goes. I used to work at a preschool in the 1-year-old room. The school calls it the toddler room. Our school cook provided lunch and snacks for the students, and in our room, we kept any leftover snacks. Bags of trail mix, goldfish crackers, Cheerios, etc. Man, those all sound like great snacks. Because snacks help when 1-year-olds have meltdowns. We kept these extra snacks on an upper shelf above our counter and sinks. One day, after lunch, when we were all in the play area, not near the counter shelves or sinks, a bag of cereal fell off of the shelf. We hadn't used any of those snacks or even touched that shelf for a few hours. There isn't even another classroom on the other side of that wall, just a hallway with teacher bathrooms. It freaked me out and my co-teacher. When the cook came in to collect lunch leftovers, we told her about the cereal, and she told us that on a weekend, when no one else was in the building, she and her husband were doing some work at the school and both heard a baby crying in the direction of the baby room.
That's fucked up.
It was down the hall, past my classroom, at the front of the school. They both ran to the room, only to find the room empty. I think that would be so freaking scary.
I agree.
To, hear a baby crying and that's all you hear, you know? A few days after the cereal fell, I was in the break room alone and saw some mist float in front of my face, coming from right where there was just a closed window and a wall. It freaked me out until the next time I was in there and I realized that there was an Airwick scent mister thing on the table.
That's funny.
That I guess I'd mistaken for a pencil sharpener. Still no explanation for the cereal or the baby crying though. Just the mystery mist. Did it smell good though?
I'm sure it was like, oh my God, what was that? Why does it smell so fresh?
Thank you guys for your podcast. You guys rock. Heart Kelly. Thank you so much, Kelly, for sharing that with us. I think that's so funny. And I want to know if the Airwick actually smelled or anything like that. Or maybe that's when they realized oh, no. It's just an air freshener, you know?
I mean, I'm sure it smelled pretty good. I think the overall idea of hearing a baby crying and not be able to find it is alarming, not just in the sense where it's like, oh, that's creepy, but like, what if there's actually a baby that's in distress and you can't find it? It makes it even worse, you know?
Right.
So it's like something that would trigger like the maternal or the paternal instinct in a person to like search more than they normally would for any other sort of noise. If it was like disembodied children's laughter, I'd be like, burn the building down. But when it's like a baby crying, it's a different story. So good stuff.
Cool beans. Nice.
All right, so I'm going to move on to our second story of the show, and this one's subject is Less Ghost, More Superstitious. And it starts out like this: feel free to read on the pod. It's always nice to see that, because then we don't have to skim through it to see if we have permission or not, and then spoil things. Starts out like this: hello, Robin and Adam and all the spooky friends.
Hello. I'm Robin, and you guys are all the spooky friends.
Wow, and all the spooky friends have to yell hello wherever you're at right now.
Hello.
First, I want to start by saying how much I love the podcast and the community it has created. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We really can't take credit for the community because you guys build that community. So whenever people say like, oh man, I love the community, it's like, we love the community because it's literally all of you guys, and y'all don't put up with people's shit because we don't put up with people's shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, get that negativity out of here.
No, yeah, it's just a bunch of positivity, which is nice to see everyone like embrace that and support each other, and it's a really special thing. And like Robin said, we don't really take credit for it. We're just lucky enough that it spread it up around the show. The email continues: I just recently joined the Discord about a month or so and enjoyed helping make Secret Santa happen. That was really fun, by the way. I first started listening to your podcast about 4 years ago because my boyfriend recommended it to me, saying you two sounded exactly how we are with each other. I'm so sorry to hear that. I think
a lot of people have said that in the past. They're like, you guys remind me of us.
Yeah. Yeah, we're sorry for all of your relationships, y'all. Just kidding.
Our relationship's not bad.
It goes on to say,
I mean, you're hella annoying, but you know.
You're hella annoying. Who the fuck shows up for a live stream at 6:28 p.m.? Robin, that's who.
I wanted to go look for stuff.
Goes on to say,
I bought a Captain America bag. It was great.
Goes on to say, now this story is not about anything paranormal, but is definitely something freaky that I experienced as a child. Okay, I regret how I said something freaky. It is definitely something freaky that I experienced as a child. Growing up, the neighborhood kids and my sister and I would always take advantage of nice weather and go on bike rides to the park and stuff. Very reminiscent of stereotypical 80s movies with kids on bikes doing crazy things to have fun. I used to do that too. One Sunday morning, I totally had a bike, and my best friend lived like half a mile away, so I would like ride to his house like every day, or he would ride to mine, and then we would just go and do something stupid. All right, gonna continue with this. They were riding around. One Sunday morning, we decided to head to the park to do what kids do and hang out. It was me, my sister, our one cousin, and two sisters from up the street. The one sister told us a story about how on Sundays you should say sucker-free Sunday, so you wish all the bad luck away. I've never heard of that. The rest of us didn't pay much attention to it, and after collecting our walkie-talkie from my grandma, we were off. We didn't make it down the street before the girl said sucker-free Sunday. Before I knew it, my shoelaces got caught up in my pedals, and we had to stop to untangle them. She would periodically say the phrase, and one of us would suffer from it. Wow. It's like she's casting a spell. The girl's younger...
All right, I'm going to use that for you in the future.
I'll just say it too, so I can be protected. The girl's younger sister also got her shoelaces caught in her pedals, and I almost got hit by a car who was speeding around a corner. My sister busted her tooth through her lip once. We finally made it to the park, and my cousin got stung by a bee and almost ran into a construction vehicle. Needless to say, after that day, and the girl who said the phrase never getting hurt, we swore off the phrase forever. I never looked into this, nor do I want to, but it was definitely a freaky coincidence or powerful superstition. Anyways.
The legend behind Sucker-Free Sunday.
I've never heard Sucker-Free Sunday, but now we all have. So make sure you say it, or you can use it as like a curse word on someone, like a literal curse word. Anyway, sorry for the long story. It wasn't that long. But I have a lot more, and I will have to write it again with other paranormal stories. I love the podcast, and congratulations, Robin, on your graduation.
Woo, thank you. I'm so glad I'm done too.
Said thanks, Maddie, or Madscan812. Well, thank you so much, Madscan, for sending that in. That's really, really effing creepy that it's like she was saying this and everyone kept getting hurt or almost dying in different ways. It seems like it's a witch, in child's clothing that's just pretending and just having fun, but I don't know. It's really creepy.
I just say that because I'm watching Beautiful Creatures, the movie. I've never seen it. And I guess it's about magic so far. I don't know.
Right on. I have no idea what you're talking about, so I just know that it's about magic. So how far into it are you?
Maybe 45 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah,
interesting.
But I mean, it's a movie. It's almost over.
I was gonna say, for 45 minutes into a movie, you figure you know what it's about, but hey, it's cool.
It's supposed to be a romance movie that it's about high school kids and magic, and it kind of reminds me of Sabrina a little bit, the new Sabrina.
You said it's called Beautiful Creatures?
Yeah.
For whatever reason, even though you said that, I still hear The Beautiful People playing in my head by Marilyn Manson.
Beautiful People. Thank you so much for sending your story in. Hopefully we get to hear all of your other creepy stories that you have in store.
Yeah, send in the rest because we want to hear them. So before we move into our next story, we are going to take a really quick commercial break. And we're back.
All right, so the second email I'm going to read here, third email of this episode, is from Brianda. Brianda? I'm going to call you Bree. Okay, so this one's from Bree, and the subject is, please read on Le Pod. All right. It goes, sup, y'all.
Sup.
Kicks your room door wide open. If someone actually kicked my door open right now, I would freak the fuck out.
I would yell at them.
It's me, Bree, back at it again. Cues, air horn, and laser.
I like that.
I'm gonna get to it. So something weird happened when I was camping, and I have no explanation. So we're out camping in the desert one day after Thanksgiving. It's a big group of people, I'd say about 10 families, all with RVs, motorcycles, outdoor riding toys, kids, etc. Me and my family were poor, lol. What the fuck? So we had a tent. Inside my tent is a heater. There's 2 air mattresses on opposite sides of the tent. One on the far left, then space for moving around, and then another on the far right. We had clothes, shoes, etc. Everyone is drinking, having fun. My daughter and my friend's daughter are asleep in my tent. They're both girls under 5. One kid is on each air mattress, and the portable camping heater is on. All right, so a tent. 2 air mattresses, opposite sides, a kid on each. So we're outside having some drinks, music is going, people still doing crazy stuff with the motorcycles. I'm by the bonfire when in the corner of my eye, I see a man go in to my tent. I immediately say, who the duck went into my tent? I think she typed it on the phone and it meant to say fuck.
That's funny.
To which my friend says, what? By this time, I'm in fight or flight, which means fight for me, so I sprint, and I mean sprint to my tent and bust it open, trying to see what idiot went into my tent where 2 little girls are sleeping in. Everyone else is supposed to be by the fire. When I get inside, I see smoke, smells horrible, and see that a blanket fell over the heater that was next to the air mattress my daughter was sleeping on. So this spirit had to be like, hey, you need to check on your kids because there's a fire, right?
I mean, this is what it sounds like. I don't know if it's a spirit or if it's just a stranger who can disappear, like that movie Jumper, or, I don't know, Nightcrawler. Did you hear a bamf at any point? That's important because that's the sound it makes when someone bamfs.
The blanket was burning, y'all, like on fire with 2 kids inside. I ripped the blanket off the heater and threw it out of the tent. I ventilated the crap out of the tent, all while the 2 babies slept peacefully, completely unaware or bothered. Had I not gotten there when I did, I honestly think the tent could have caught on fire with my kid in there. I'm glad I made it in time and everything was fine, but who the fuck did I see go into my tent? I asked everyone, and no one saw anyone go in, as everyone was accounted for. So who did I see? If I hadn't seen the man go in, I wouldn't have checked on the kids. I think about this almost every day. Anyway, I think this is probably my 3rd email submission, and I kind of feel like I'm part of the show, so shrugs in a cool way. Thank you for all you do. Robin, congratulations on your degree. Oh my god, thank you guys. An awesome job / internship. You're going to kill it. Thank you. It's 3 months in and I haven't gotten fired yet, so that's a good thing. Change can be scary, but remember butterflies change from caterpillars. I feel like I'm not a caterpillar or a butterfly. I feel like I am
sexy bare-assed baboon.
Crab?
Oh yeah, we're in different wavelengths. Sorry about that.
Like a hermit crab, because they change shells as they grow. I think maybe my shell has just become like something like an odd piece of trash floating on the bottom of the ocean. Why are you
so self-deprecating, dude? I think you grew out of your university shell and now you're moving into like your big kid shell. I don't think it's a piece of trash on the bottom of the floor of the ocean. Unless it's like a super cool like skull that like someone had on their like desk, you know, and then they somehow wound up throwing it in the ocean. So it looks like a shell that you could put on, but you're just like rolling around in the most badass shell you could ever want.
Or it could be like a creepy doll head.
That's cool too. I like that.
So you too will become a beautiful butterfly or, you know, a hermit crab with a cool badass shell. It says Bug's Life Heimlich the caterpillar voice. Oh my God. I'm trying to think of a really good Heimlich impersonation. That's the word, right? Impersonation.
I mean, I'm not sure what sentence you're trying to say right now, but I think that's what you're referencing. I've never seen A Bug's Life though, so.
I don't know. He has a really cute voice. A beautiful butterfly. I can't do it. I'm not doing it. It doesn't matter. Adam, thank you for holding the fort down and having a super cool mustache. You remind me of an old coworker who I became good friends with. He seemed like a grumpy old man, but once you got to know him, he was a grumpy old man.
Fair enough. I don't have the mustache anymore though, so.
He was our grumpy old man with the biggest heart and the fastest, wittiest of comebacks. Y'all inspire me every time I listen and play a big role into why I started my own horror-related podcast. It's obviously not as cool or edumacated as Scary-ish, but just wanted you to know y'all really inspired me with the amazing entertaining and knowledge y'all drop. So that's it until something else happens, LOL. And remember, everything gets better with age, unless you're a banana, love Bree.
Hey, when bananas are aged out, you turn them into banana bread.
Make a smoothie.
Oh, smoothie, yeah. Oh, man, I could really go for a fucking strawberry banana smoothie right now. And eventually, it becomes shit. So, either way, you can eat the banana when it's, let's just move on. Thank you so much for sending in your story. That was really interesting, and I think it's a case of like a guardian angel style thing, where like you saw something that absolutely led you to an event that would have been completely traumatic. I'm shocked those kids slept through that, or that they stayed in that tent after there was something that was literally on fire. That is terrifying. Because I would have woken up and been like, what smells so bad? But you got there just in time. So overall, I think the story is definitely about a guardian angel. So that's my take.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I said at the beginning, like maybe it's a spirit that was like, y'all need to check on your kids, Maybe it was one of your ancestors, or maybe it was just a spirit from the desert. You never know. It could be anything, anyone. I just think it's really cool that you were able to catch that fire before it got worse. Because that's absolutely terrifying. Yeah. Definitely fires scare me. The idea of things burning scares me.
Thank you so much for sending that in. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and move into the last story of the show. This one's subject is story okay to share on Storytime. That is a solid subject, and it comes from D, as in Dick. Just saying. So I don't want anyone to be like, did it come from B or V? No, D, as in Dick. But you're not a dick. That's my last name's initial as well. My friends used to call me D. Anyways, hi all.
You are a dick.
I wanted to share my most recent story with you all. My sister and I went to Austin, Texas this fall for my cousin's wedding. We got an Airbnb to stay in since it was much cheaper than a hotel. On the first night we slept there, I remember going to bed not afraid or scared in any way and falling asleep rather quickly. It's pretty cold out, about 40 degrees, so I hopped into bed and snuggled right into the fluffy down comforter. At about 3:15 a.m., I woke up because I was too warm and thinking that I had heard the sound of heavy footsteps running down the hallway, like someone running barefoot.
That's terrifying.
Because I was half asleep, I told myself there was no way it was real and it had to have been just a dream, and I went back to sleep. That morning, I wanted to ask my sister if she had heard anything. She had slept in the next room at the end of the hall and had kept her door open that night. I was sure that she would have heard it too. So I called her into my room asking her to come talk to me. I said to her, quote, I think something happened last night. Her response was, quote, yeah, something did, but I don't want to talk about it while we are in the house, end quote. That's smart. I've always thought, like, if anything creepy is happening in the house, pretend like it's not happening, leave the house, and then just, like, never go back. Goes on. My eyes got wide, and I immediately asked her what had happened. She told me that she had woken up to the feeling of someone watching her. She experiences things like this all the time since her husband and son are extremely sensitive and see spirits all the time.
Fuck that.
My sister doesn't usually see spirits, but she feels them. Because she knows how to deal with these kinds of situations, she told the spirit it wasn't wanted there with us and told it to go away. She said it went away and it didn't feel like it was a malicious spirit. I think that was her way of trying not to scare me. But of course, I was already terrified and could not sleep the next night. On the third night and last night we were there, I told her I ended up having to put on some calming wave music and I was able to get to sleep. She then told me that on the second and third nights, her door kept opening. She said that on the second night, she had closed her door and awoke in the middle of the night to pee to find the door open. She thought maybe she just hadn't closed it properly. So on the third night, she had made sure to close it and securely latch the door, and when she got up in the night to use the bathroom, she saw it was open again. She then closed it again and woke in the morning to an open door yet again. We privately messaged the Airbnb host and asked if they knew of any weird experiences in the house, but they never sent a reply. I also noticed they had a Virgin of Guadalupe candle out on the mantle. I'm not really sure what that is used for. It just struck me as odd after what had happened. Thank you for reading my story.
I mean, I know some people have those just to have them, not necessarily because their house is haunted or anything. Just because it's a part of their religion or whatnot. But that's really weird.
I will say, like, growing up having a grandfather that was Puerto Rican, I can't tell you how many fucking candles he had in his room. There were many, many candles, and I could never tell you what they all do, but they're not all to ward off evil. However, I think it's worth investigating, like, if there's a specific meaning to that particular one. So either way, like, that is really creepy, especially when the Airbnb people don't message you back, because you would imagine they're either going to message you back and be like, no, we've never heard anything like that, because they don't want their Airbnb to get a shitty review, or they'd message you back like, why, what happened? You know, ignoring you entirely is just something that I would not expect, and it's pretty fucking terrifying. So thank you for sending that in. All right, so that's everything we have for this episode of Storytime. Thank you so much to everyone who wrote into us. If you have a story you'd like to share with us, please email storytime@scarish.com or go to our website, scarish.com, and click on Contact Us. You can fill out that form. It does come directly to us. If you want to hit us up on our social medias, you can. Facebook is facebook.com/scarishpodcast. Twitter is @scarishpod, and Instagram is @scarishpodcast. Robin, for folks who would like to donate to us, how can they do so?
You can go to patreon.com/scarishpodcast. Those are monthly donations. Tiers start at $1. At $1, you get ad-free episodes.
Ad-free is the way to be.
If you're not into the monthly donation type thing, you can also go to ko-fi.com/scarishpodcast. And all your donations definitely help us keep this podcast going.
Indeed. So thank you so much for everyone who watched. Thank you so much to everyone who listened. We appreciate you all. That's everything we have for Storytime number 186. So Robin, go ahead and sign us out.
Keep on creeping on, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.